Georgia is one of the hottest teams in the country, I think, on the recruiting trail right now. I mean, especially if you consider how far you want to go back. If you want to go back the last month, basically since Jared Curtis committed, like Georgia's either been getting commits or just kind of right there for a lot of guys that are, this is kind of what it is now. June and July are like the hotbed for recruiting now and commits and everything. So Ryan Mosley, that was now at least a week or two ago, maybe at a Carrollton committed. Interesting rankings on Ryan Mosley. I think someone had him as a 3-star, and then some have him as like a top 150 player or so. So I've also seen him at 6'2", and I've seen him at 6'4". So like I feel like that's very different. But he's supposed to just be like a kind of a hybrid running back, receiver, just offensive athlete, just weapon, kind of from what I've heard. So really excited about him. Any thoughts about Ryan Mosley?
Yeah, I think the height thing needs to be made kind of clear because I agree. 6'4" versus 6'2" is very different. But I saw 6'4" on 247. But I mean, I think it's another good get for James Coley in that wide receiver room. Obviously, Georgia saw the importance of having. I think last year may have motivated them to maybe go after receivers a little bit harder in the recruiting process than maybe they were. Carrollton guy. So did he play with Julian Lewis in high school? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So there you go. I don't know too much about this guy, but I think it's good that Georgia's shoring up the wide receiver core because they it's too good of a program with too many resources to have that position group be as much of a liability as it was last year.
For sure. It's really it's unacceptable for it to just be as bad as it was. Like, I'm not saying I don't know who deserves blame because it's like you look at the way some of these guys were recruited coming out of high school. You got a bunch of really good players, and Arian Smith now where you go drafted 3rd round, 4th round or something.
4th round.
Clearly he's got some talent that NFL teams see as well. So, it'd be even more frustrating if some of these guys go on to Dominic Lovett was drafted. I think that kind of surprised us at least.
It did.
So it'll be even more frustrating. These guys go on to bigger and better things. Like just what happened in 2024. But yeah, and keeping it moving. Speaking of wide receiver position, Georgia got the first 2027 recruit for the 2027 class, and Gavin Honor. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but out of Mater Dei High School in California. Maybe we got Nate Frazier from Mater Dei in 2024. Got now Gavin Honor, if I'm pronouncing his name right. Maybe they can convince Mark Bowman to decommit from USC. The big tight end that just committed to USC, but out of Mater Dei that Rusty Mansell is super high on as well as the rest of the industry. But yes, that's big to get that first 2027 commit. And then Carter Lucky, the legacy continues with another Lucky going to Athens. So that's good to see.
That's the 5th one, right?
I believe so. They had the triplets. I don't know which one is his dad, but it's whoever Lawson's dad is.
His dad is Dustin, I think.
Is that right? Okay. Yeah. He is Lawson's brother. So
it is Lawson's brother. Yeah. And he's he's not just like a Nepo recruit either. I mean, he's a 4-star defensive lineman. And I read that Ohio State went really, 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 really hard after him to try to get him. Like Ryan Day wanted him really bad. But at the end of the day, man, when 2 of your uncles and your dad and your older brother played there, I imagine their relationship is pretty strong there.
Yeah.
So cool.
I would imagine 2 things. One, he didn't have a choice. But a second, I would imagine he's been dreaming of being a Georgia Bulldog his entire life. So
absolutely.
Good to see. Another Gwinnett County guy too. Georgia has had its struggles in Gwinnett County, kind of feels like historically, at least with some of the more highly ranked players out of Gwinnett. And we got now who is it? Graham Houston out of Buford. And then the other one that just committed, was that last night or this morning? Zachary Lewis out of North Gwinnett, not necessarily the 4-star or 5-star like some of these like oh man, who's the guy? Who's the receiver that went to Tennessee a year ago out of Parkview? Not exactly a 5-star, not exactly Tyler Atkinson or something.
Yeah. Well, wait, what was
but
his,
what was his name? I'm blanking on his name. The 5-star receiver. Oh man, once he committed to Tennessee, he's just dead to me. So I forgot his name. But to see Georgia having a little success in Gwinnett County, that's always nice to see. So many good football programs in Gwinnett, and I'm biased, of course.
Yeah, that's a nice addition, and I like that they got another Mater Dei guy on the team too with Gavin Honor. I saw that, again, I don't know, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name either, but when I saw that he committed, this is Gavin Honor. Sorry to circle back, but I just remember thinking it was interesting because his size is like 5'10", 175, and he plays slot receiver. I just remember being like, wow, that kid's tiny. But then I thought back to another slot receiver who attended Mater Dei High School by the name of Amon-Ra St. Brown, who went on to become the best slot receiver in the entire NFL. So if that happens at Georgia, just, the signs were there,
So you heard it here, folks. Bo Underwood says Gavin Honor is the next Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Not to scout the helmet or anything. Now the only difference might be that I'm not sure if his dad is not also a former Mr. Universe lifter and bodybuilder, there might be some trouble making that comparison. But other than that, all the similarities are there. So yeah, Georgia had another commit kind of recently too, didn't they? DB. It's by the way, Fitzpatrick's brother.
Yeah, Mike Matthews. Mike Matthews was the name I was forgetting, the Tennessee recruit. But yeah, that's the last one I was going to get to. So you go ahead. Yeah. That was right before our show started last week. So go ahead.
Yeah. I was super stoked about this one. Not because I know a whole lot about Justice Fitzpatrick as a player. I don't know the ins and outs. I've seen his huddle, but that's about it. Which he is a pretty cool player. Physical guy. Plays pretty smart. You can tell the football pedigree and IQ just kind of jump off the page with his brother being, who he is and everything. But Minkah Fitzpatrick is obviously somebody who Kirby Smart recruited to Alabama around a decade ago when he was the defensive coordinator there. And I've heard things. I'm going to butcher the name of this account, but there's a guy who used to work. He used to be a staffer at Alabama when Kirby Smart was there. And he runs a TikTok account where I think it's like McCready or something. McCready and Sits. It's a good show. I wish I could say the name of the guy so I could give him a shout out because I forgot. But anyway, he has this TikTok where he tells stories from the recruiting trail. And he always used to talk about how like Minkah Fitzpatrick and his family were such great people and they had such a good relationship with Kirby Smart. So like, I remember thinking that's interesting. It's like, oh, his brother is in high school now. Like, I wonder if that relationship is going to mean anything, if it's going to carry over. And sure enough, it did. And Justice Fitzpatrick is once again there's another Fitzpatrick brother going to play for Kirby Smart. So I think that's pretty cool. It's good to see. I think Kirby had a quote about when Fitzpatrick committed Justice. He was like, it's good that like relationships still matter in the era of NIL. So like, this is a cool commitment, I think.
That's because Kirby knows. He's like, if this NIL stuff wasn't a factor, I'd be cleaning up right now. Oh yeah. Not that Georgia doesn't recruit great anyway, but kind of like what you said. I'm just excited about this, and obviously I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but if we can hold on to Kirby for another 10, another 20 years or something, I just want the next generation of all these Alabama players, who played under Saban.
Everyone's brother.
Saban's not around anymore. You guys build that connection with Kirby. Kirby's still around. Come on to Athens.
That's exactly what just happened. Like that is 100%. That's 100% what just happened. Is like the closest dude to Saban in college football right now is Kirby Smart.
Yeah, exactly. And in this situation, he literally, too, like you're supposed to commit to the university, right? You're not even supposed to commit to the head coach. You're supposed to commit to the university, whatever. we know these guys not only commit to the head coach, they commit to position coaches, to coordinators, because that's who they're interacting with most on a one-to-one level. So Kirby Smart recruited so many of those guys, so many of those great players that played at Alabama for a decade plus. So it's pretty nice if this can now start to benefit Georgia with some of those relationships guys built with Kirby Smart in the past.
Yeah. I don't know if there's an unlimited pool of Alabama Crimson Tide players who have younger brothers, but I do agree. I think this is definitely going to play a factor.
That's I know Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. was like a recruit like a year or two ago.
Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. already?
Yeah, so maybe Kirby holds on. Right, maybe Kirby holds on for their 10, 20 years. He can get these kids in here.
Yeah, that's what we need, man. Derrick Henry Jr. commit to the G.
Absolutely, sir. One guy who's a commit, and I feel like I almost don't even want to put this into the atmosphere, sir. But because Georgia's now up to the 5th ranked spot in the recruiting, and I think in On3 and in 24/7's rankings, I believe. And Seven Cloud is sitting up there as the #1 ranked JUCO prospect in the country. And there's a whole backstory on this guy. Like people weren't even convinced he was real for a couple years. Like a name like Seven Cloud. Like I think he didn't get into Georgia originally and had to go the junior college route. And I think he's been committed like basically the whole time. Drew Rosenhaus is now this dude's agent.
What?
So
how did that happen?
Apparently he's big time. So
how does Seven Cloud get Drew Rosenhaus to be his agent?
I think Drew Rosenhaus knows what a superstar looks like.
Maybe this guy's not. Maybe he isn't real. Maybe those theories.
I saw pictures of him. Also, hopefully Daniel Harris has a good enough year to leave and go pro, because Seven Cloud's got to get #7 when he comes in, right? I mean, that's just that's a rule.
I'm gonna make it. Yeah, no, he does need to actually. I'm gonna, or at least I know 77 has some sentimental value with the program. And I understand. I understand that, but that might be a decent consolation prize.
That's true.
I'm gonna make like a video or something like investigating whether or not Seven Cloud really exists. Because now that I forgot, I remember those like theories.
There was something about it, yeah.
They're like, there's no defensive lineman who committed who has to go to community college named Seven Cloud. That's not real. Like, that was totally a thing. Yeah,
I remember there was some wild message board times, but he now Drew Rosenhaus is his agent. I just, like I said, I hope I don't even put it out there, but I just hope Georgia can keep him in this